Hello, 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 and welcome back to the 25th episode of the Nifty Cauldron. I'm one of your hosts, Milan, joined by a lovely, lovely co-host, as always.
Kelly, what's good?
What's good? Well, first of all, if you like the shit we do, leave a like, maybe subscribe so we can get that beautiful custom URL.
Earl.
I can't believe I said Earl.
Welcome to Earth.
But yeah, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing all right, aside from you going full Independence Day and going Earth and Earl. Well, yeah, other than that, just kind of chilling, doing the thing, hanging out. Not much is really going on in my life other than just really busy with, unfortunately, work, but it's mostly like creative work, so I kind of don't mind it as much as if it was something else. So, and then, streaming, doing the thing, the huge. What's going on with you?
Yeah, less work, even though I should work more. Lots of streaming, still kind of pulling long stream hours, and then getting bullied by chat for only streaming 7 or 8 hours. And next to that, really just playing all the Valheim, honestly. Like, not gonna lie, I am sucked into that game. Like, Odin has me in his grasp, and I am entering Valhalla, and I cannot leave. I don't want to leave ever, you know?
It's just honestly like I haven't had time to actually sit down and play anything for the most part, except for Honey Pop 2, bitch. Yeah,
Honey Pop 2.
Honey Pop 2, and then I beat that, and then so now, but now I'm like at the point where like my schoolwork and my homework are like is like just kicking up fucking basically full tilt, and so I'm literally dying because I'm constantly working either for work or school work, so I don't really have free time anymore. It's just going to get worse because my next class starts in April. But I do really, really, really want to play Valheim. I think it like looks really cool. I found out my computer can actually run it, which is pretty hype, even though my computer is a dino at this point, an old geriatric dinosaur that is about to get hit by the comet because I'm replacing it. Don't tell her. Yeah, that's kind of like I really want to play Valheim, and I'm like super bummed that I don't have time right now to play it, but I'm itching for it because I hear so many good things from you and so many good things from like streamers online, and I've watched like a little bit of it, and I just lately those types of survival games question are there survival games, I guess? I don't know. Have really started like appealing to me, obviously, because like we have our playthrough of the forest. You have our play. I have my playthrough with Chris on Raft, and then now Valheim's there, and I'm like, I want to play you too, my dude.
Yeah, no, like, it's like Valheim combines a couple of aspects. Like I would define as like crafting, building, exploration, survival, but probably survival is the weakest aspect. Like a big example that Valheim does differently is you don't need to eat food if you don't want to.
What?
Like, food gives you health regen and a bigger HP pool and more stamina, but you'll never die from hunger, for example.
Oh, interesting.
So basically, you don't really get punished in Valheim for not doing something, but you get rewarded for doing it, which is clever game design, right?
Mm.
But yeah, no. Currently, Valheim is like 5 bosses out of the planned 9 or 10. I'm not entirely sure if they plan 9 bosses and 10 biomes or 9 biomes and 10 bosses, something like that. I've put in 45 hours. I barely beat the second boss because I'm just building a base. So far, it's still far from done, but the quote unquote mansion we have in the forest, peanuts. It is but a mere shed, in comparison. I've just been going ham and I can't stop.
You're just building a whole ass fucking Viking castle.
Not a castle, but I definitely have different houses. Like, I have an entryway, and then a dock is planned, and like a bedroom that is like a watchtower, and just a storage room. They're just like crazy, insane, over the top. Why are you making this so big? You're playing this solo. Please stop, Milan. Kind of builds, but I love that shit. That's the big appeal for me.
You're playing solo? I thought you were playing with Paul.
We were, but then Paul kind of just didn't play, and I wanted to play, so I just started a solo game. And I was like, okay, like I'll just play until I hit a point where, where I matched progression that I have with Paul. And I'll even take it slower. And that took me like 10 hours. I purposely took it slower, built like a nicer house. And I'm like, all right, like this way I can kind of like fill the gap whenever Paul doesn't want to play. And then a day or two passed and then Paul still didn't want to play. I'm like, all right, fuck this. I'm not waiting anymore. Like I need, I need more Valheim. But I'm not that much further than him. Like if he wants to, progression wise, he could probably catch up to me in a couple of hours.
Hmm.
That's just how slow I've been taking things and just not really been focusing really at all at progressing in the game. Just in case, you or Paul or anyone else wants to like join or maybe play catch up. I don't want to be like, well, I'm done with the game. Behold, kind of situation.
Yeah. Did one of you make a server or?
I didn't make a dedicated server because that costs money. But whatever world you make, you can literally just click start server, and then the only caveat is the host has to be online, right?
Oh, that's not that big of a deal. But I mean, yeah. Uh, I had something and then it flew out of my brain. It's gone now.
And then it must not have been important.
No, I guess not. It's fucking gone now. Dust in the wind, as they would say.
Yeah. So actually hella segue because I could talk about Valheim for hours, and I don't think that's what we have on the menu for today.
Oh, was there character creation? That was my question. Like customization.
In theory, you can pick like the hair color and what kind of beard and hairstyle you want, but that's it.
Can you be a lady?
No, I don't think so. Actually,
Dicks only.
I don't think so. Actually, I didn't check. I don't remember there being that option. It's a very basic custom character creator, sorry. And in general, a lot of stuff is still basic because it's very early access. I think at this point they've sold 5 million copies. They're one of the most successful games on Steam. So they're doing really, really well.
Wow. Holy shit.
And I think one update coming this year is called like Hearth and Home. People expect like a lot more building options and decorations and stuff like that.
Mm,
But we'll see. We'll see.
perfect. I love playing The Sims.
Basically, dude, oh my God. One day this space will be completed and I'll give you a grand tour with screen share if need be.
Okay.
Like look at this.
Sounds good. Please. Welcome to my house. MTV Cribs. Let's go.
Welcome to my longhouse. Or welcome. Welcome.
Really cool.
I don't know how to do a fucking Norwegian accent. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to any Norwegian listening. I don't do any accents.
But also, you have great black metal, so keep it up.
Yeah. Keep doing you. But to fucking hella segue into a completely different beast. Pokemon, the announcement. I have a lot of things to say.
You have a lot of thoughts and feelings.
Most of them aren't good. So,
Brr, brr, brr.
I guess, first of all, let's bring up Pokemon Snap. I don't give a fuck about Pokemon Snap. That's my opinion. I don't care about it. Not gonna get it. Don't care. I don't know if you feel any different. If you plan to get Pokemon Snap, I really could not care any less.
I would probably get it just to like experience it because I never got an N64 growing up.
Mm,
Because I've never experienced it. I actually didn't have an N64 at all. My cousin had one. And then he would always give me the backwards controller for when we were playing GoldenEye, and then he also was a dirty screen looker. So
damn, the double offense.
right, exactly. So he would purposely fuck me over and I like couldn't literally play anything on that. Also, maybe tea, maybe shade, but the Sega Dreamcast was a better console. Get fucked on.
I never had a Dreamcast. It wasn't really popular in Europe.
They're so fucking amazing. I love my Dreamcast. I would kill a man for my Dreamcast.
Yeah, I just don't think it. Like, I never even saw a commercial or anything for it. Like, I don't even remember ever seeing it. So I think it was just very poorly marketed here in Europe specifically.
It was. Well, it was just poorly marketed in general because they also did the thing where they're like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking put only certain retailers are gonna have certain games. So you have to like go around and like do that shit. And that was just fucking stupid. Also, the Sega Dreamcast did a fucking fuck up and all their games were not like secure. So you could just burn a copy of the game and the Sega Dreamcast would read it.
Nice.
You just needed a boot disk, and then the boot disk you could also just burn off of online.
The 90s.
And also, the best thing too about the Dreamcast is that it wasn't region locked, so you could just fucking play Japanese games on it, and it would just read it fine. You would just need the boot disk. You would use the boot disk. You'd put the fucking Japanese game in it, and it would fucking read it. But I love my Sega Dreamcast. I thought it was better, like one of the best systems ever created. I love the fact that the VMUs, your little memory card, you could actually take and play on the go. So for Sonic Adventure Battle 2, you could like, play with your little KOs and stuff like that. And
Wait, what'd you say?
KOs.
In Chows?
Chows.
Don't fucking KO here. Hold on.
When I was a kid, I called them KOs because I didn't know they were supposed to be chows. So
Oh, dude, I fucking loved my Chow Garden. Oh my god. So
yeah. Well, in Sonic Adventure Battle 2, which they ported over to the GameCube because they realized that that game was fucking fire
it's also on PC now.
and they needed to bring it over. Yeah, now it's on PC. I actually have it on PC because I love that game.
It's like $2 on Steam or something. Dude, I played it so much on the GameCube. So I love my Chow Garden so much. And this was really a time. This was a time before YouTube, obviously.
Mm.
But I kind of learned how to speedrun the very first level, City Escape, because that was the quickest way to get like the Chow upgrades you wanted and to like progress the cycle for your Chows to grow. And then later on in life, I looked up the speedrun, and for a while, technically, I held the world record just because I was so dedicated to getting my Chows. I inadvertently held the world record for City Escape for I don't know how long, but not super long, and it's obliterated at this point. But it's like, damn, I really loved my Chows, dude.
How old were you at the time? Like a little baby? A little kiddo?
Not a little baby, like 12, 13, that age range, like between 12 and 14, I would say.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Bro, Dreamcast had so many bangers. So many bangers, man.
I believe it, but it also makes
Space
sense.
Channel 5.
I mean, Space Channel 5 was also out for PlayStation, I think.
I had Dreamcast.
Yeah,
I also had SSX Trixie for Dreamcast, and that was hype.
I played that a lot too on the PlayStation.
I played the shit out of that.
It's
Also,
tricky.
yeah, it's tricky. You can't get DMCA'd here, bitch.
I mean, we can, but different.
Well, yeah.
We get copyright struck here.
Yeah. So that shit was a fucking banger. Power Stone 2, I was obsessed with Power Stone.
You're still obsessed with Power Stone.
I'm still obsessed with that. I would literally throw down and play Power Stone with literally anybody at this exact moment.
Yeah.
And then there's Echo the Dolphin. Echo the Dolphin. There's just so many fucking good ass games for fucking goddamn Dreamcast. I also had my copy of Crazy Taxi was on Dreamcast. I fucking love Crazy Taxi. I kick ass at Crazy Taxi. I think I had like the highest score at like my local Boomers or something on Crazy Taxi, and I also have the third highest score at Boomers for Time Crisis. And I would play 2 screens.
I love Time Crisis.
I would play 2-player Time Crisis, but just me, and I would like alternate the pedals by myself. But my high score at the Fountain Valley Boomers in Southern California is under ass and poo. Shout out to me.
Shout out to Ass and Poo.
Shout out to ass and poo, the real ones. But sorry, I totally derailed that conversation.
Oh, you did, but
because I got really hyped about the fucking Dreamcast. I have one brain cell.
Yeah, and then I derailed some more because we brought up Sonic, so it's fine, right?
No, it's all good. This is how things go. But you were talking about Pokemon.
Yes, I was gonna say that, but it makes perfect sense then that you're at least interested in Snap to some degree. It's coming out next month or April. I don't fucking know. Have fun paying $60 for it. Anyway, fuck Pokemon Snap. Don't care about it. I think Pokemon Snap would be if they put in some extra effort to make it like a mobile game where you have to go out into the world, like they tried with Pokemon Go, and it worked. People did go out, but where you can, and then they show up as AR, and then you kind of photograph them in real life or something. That could be a neat concept. Maybe in 20 years when Nintendo gets the idea.
Or they get it right now because they've hacked into our podcast, or they're listening to our podcast and they actually take notes. Except no one does that.
I mean, if you are, please fucking hire me. I need money really bad. Yeah, I'll be the idea guy. I promise. And then kind of the Diamond and Pearl remake. I'm a little bit surprised that they outsourced it to a different studio. It makes sense in context, but I was like, oh, that's a little bit of surprise. It's still retaining like the from the top down bird's eye view art style, which I think was the smart choice. I think everybody would have loved to see a full 3D like Pokemon Sword Shield, but the way they constructed the world of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, I think it just wouldn't have made sense to be fully 3D. So rather than rebuild it from the ground up, I think it makes perfect sense to just do it how they did it, and it looks fine. I'll be getting it. Looks great. Just Diamond and Pearl updated. Great. Keep it up. Go Studio Ilsa, I think it's called. Go with them. Now, the big announcement:
Hot take incoming.
Pokemon Legends. I could not have been more disappointed than what they've shown. So I guess to backtrack a little bit, usually when a Pokemon game gets announced, I'll watch the initial trailer and they'll like show off a couple things and the starters. And I'll be like, cool, I know enough. I'm interested. I picked the starter that I want already in my head. And now I'm going to avoid all Pokemon information and buy the game when it comes out and experience it fully blind.
Mhm.
Like, I knew nothing about Pokemon Sword and Shield other than I'm picking Sobble. Like, I didn't know what they were going to evolve into. I didn't know any of the gyms, any of the new Pokemons, anything like that. So I totally got to experience a lot of things for the very first time, which I love. This trailer makes me go, I need to see a couple more trailers because I might not buy this Pokemon game. As it stands right now, I am not getting it.
Yeah, and that's a long-term, like, Pokemon fan, that's kind of, like, a big deal for you.
But yeah,
I mean, other than, like you saying, like, "Fuck Snap," whatever, but what's kind of, like, your core reasoning behind it? What made you become disillusioned with this title?
a couple of things, but the main one. So I guess for the people who haven't seen the trailer, it's like I guess take 2 minutes, go in your YouTube search bar and type in Pokemon Legends and watch the 2 minute trailer, and then come back to the podcast. But if you'd please to do that, it's basically an open world Pokemon game, which sounds very cool in theory. The story is set in Sinnoh, just silver gold, but it's set before Pokemon trainers, before the league existed, before gyms existed. It is set before Pokedexes even existed, and the story is you're creating the very first Pokedex. Sounds neat in theory. I'm worried that all you can literally do is catch Pokemon and battle wild Pokemon, and that there's no overarching story other than that, other than complete the Pokedex. Um, Here's also another idea, Nintendo, because you're going for this Asian calligraphy ink look. If the Pokedex is not a journal where I draw in my own Pokemon in that art style, you have failed, because that's $1 million idea. You're welcome. Um, so my big concern looking at the trailer is it's just an open world with nothing to do. Like every background, there's no buildings, there's no NPC. It's just an open plains area. Or look, here's a different open plains area. Here's a different looking forest. Like there's just nothing there. And for me, I don't care about completing my entire Pokedex. I don't care about catching 500 Pokemon. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's too much for me as well. Like that would overwhelm me. Like we kind of talked about it last podcast, but like I don't know, sometimes when things are open world, I get overwhelmed kind of easily.
Yeah.
So having like an open world Pokemon with like no sort of direction, I would probably feel lost as well.
Yeah. It's kind of like people are speculating that it's like Breath of the Wild Pokemon, but it's kind of like Breath of the Wild had stuff to do. Like Breath of the Wild is very open world, but if I go from point A to point B, I'll get distracted and somehow end up on point C, which was behind point A somehow, right?
Mm.
I don't think I'll be able to do that in Pokemon. And then other than that, there are like a couple of issues, like the anti-aliasing and the jaggies. Like they literally cut my eyes when I even look at the trailer. Like, oh fuck, like that's just how sharp they are. The draw distance is really bad. For whatever reason, the wild Pokemon move at a slower FPS than you do. I can't really demonstrate it in fucking audio, but there's this one shot where you see a fucking Chingling like maybe 10 feet away from you while you're sneaking up on it, and it literally Xingling is just going like that, very out of sync with you, and it's like this is 2022. Like, hello, can we can we do something about this?
Well, I clearly need to go and watch the fucking trailer, I guess. But I mean, do they tell you what? Do you get a starter Pokemon? How do you catch a Pokemon if you've never even started a Pokemon Dex?
Well, they have shown that you can just throw a Pokeball without battling a Pokemon, which is pretty neat 'cause they're just all roaming around the overworld.
Isn't that just the Safari Zone?
Sort of, except without the candy and stuff, right?
Except you're not throwing mud,
Yeah.
chucking mud at the Pokemon.
Um, so the starters make me think there are also no new Pokemon. Like I think they'll have like a regional thing, like Alola versions, just old Sinnoh, whatever they're gonna call it. So the starters you pick from, get this, Cyndaquil, Oshawott, and Rowlet.
Rowlet, easy pick. GG easy.
Obviously, always Rowlet. But I mean, like, they're all returning starters from different generations, right? Which is a neat concept. It's like, I want new ones, Nintendo. I want new Pokemon. What are you doing? You've been doing this for 20 years. Where are my new Pokemon? You know what I mean?
That's so weird though that it's like Oshawott, Cyndaquil, Rowlet.
I mean, Cyndaquil makes sense because it's Sinnoh, right? Like,
Yeah,
Cyndaquil makes perfect sense.
Cyndaquil makes sense.
But Rowlet and Oshawott is like,
Rowlet,
I mean, Rowlet's cool. Don't get me wrong.
I love Rowlet.
Like, I'm going to pick a Rowlet.
100% happy that they put that little sweet burb in there.
Like, I never cared about Cyndaquil ever. And Oshawott is one of the weaker water starters, I would say.
Very cute though. I'm surprised they didn't put Squirtle.
Why? Why is that a surprise, for example?
I don't know because if they're trying to make it like a multi-generational thing, then it's like wouldn't you fucking just have Squirtle? So then you had like an older generation, a mid generation, then a newer.
I mean, I would never consider gold or silver a mid generation, right? But I get what you're saying. But I mean, but who knows? Maybe you'll be able to catch a Squirtle in like the first 10 minutes, right? I have no idea what they have planned. But for me, an open world does not a good game make, right? Like I need stuff to do in an open world. And if they're taking out trainer battles and gym leaders, I need something of equivalent challenge to keep entertained. Like I don't care about catching Pokemon beyond like maybe 10 or so. Like I want my team, my initial team, and then I don't care. Then I want to grow my team, right? Like I want to beat the game with like the 6, 7 Pokemon I designate. And then let's not even start about how the fuck do you Nuzlocke a fully open world Pokemon game where everything's literally out in the wild? How do I Nuzlocke that, right?
You can.
Like,
You can.
yeah, you probably cannot. Other than maybe like whichever Pokemon pops up on camera first or something is the one you have to walk into. Maybe. I don't fucking know. Somebody will figure it out.
Even then, if your whole thing is, I mean, I guess like releasing the Pokemon or putting them in a separate box where like they're the graveyard or the dead box or whatever, that would be fine to like do. But it's like with the open world element, I don't think you really can Nuzlocke it, tbh. So
But yeah, especially if there's no gyms or training battles, like because like I said, like I'm not gonna go around catching all the wild Pokemon. I truly don't care. I will never care about that.
honestly, at that point, they just might as well just made the game like a fucking mobile game and not put it on like a Switch or anything like that. Like it's essentially the way that you operate in Pokemon Go. Like you don't really you just throw a Pokeball at something and then you have to throw the Pokeball the right way.
I mean, you do battle. They actually
And then you can do raids.
no, like you can fight the wild Pokemon. And they've definitely improved the battle animations. Like for now, for once, is the history of Pokemon, physical moves actually hit your opponent physically, and not just that you kick or punch in place, and then the camera pans, and the enemy Pokemon flinches. It is now a proper connection. That's great.
Like they actually like run at each other.
What they showed off was like Lucario like fucking Dragon Ball Z teleporting next to whatever he was hitting and then like doing like an uppercut, stuff like that. But it might not be running, but baby steps. Like 2022, we still don't have the technology to animate running, I guess. For all the Pokemon. Even when you have more money than God himself, we'll just take baby steps. So
Damn, the tea is fucking hot today.
I mean, I have to be, dude, because people. I mean, people eat up Pokemon, and I get it. I eat up Pokemon too, for the most part. But I feel these are a lot of drastic changes, which are really going away from the Pokemon core. And for me, the core is beyond just catching Pokemon, right? I think training and evolutions and gym leaders, or if you don't want to call it gyms, but like challenging 8 different places and the league and a Team Rocket equivalent, a rival, are as core to Pokemon as any of the other mechanics, right? And if you take out 4 of those things and you just give us an empty open world, like that doesn't get me excited, you know?
Yeah. I do like the fact that in the later Pokemons, like your rival is not like a total fucking asshole that you want to just fucking murder while they sleep.
I mean, I want to murder Hop because I hate Hop. He's so annoying.
He's just stupid. He's just a little dumb, okay? But at the same time, he's good of heart. He's just not the smartest, and that's fine.
Yeah. Do you know who was a good rival?
Huh?
Barry from Diamond and Pearl. He was a very excitable kid, but he's a tough rival. Like Barry fucks. Like he's actually good at Pokemon,
Yeah,
right? Like that
yeah,
guy grew up playing Pokemon. Like he knows what he's doing. That guy fucks.
yeah. No, I definitely because I had Pearl, I didn't have Diamond because I am the younger sibling, so the older sibling got to choose whatever Pokemon they wanted, and then I had to get the other one because they were older. So I had Pearl because Grimora picked Diamond. And so when I had Pearl, I remember like actually being fearful of when Barry would show up.
Oh yeah,
You're
dude.
like, oh fuck. Oh fuck.
I'm calling it. I'm calling it right now. Somebody download this, clip it, whatever. Barry is gonna kill Nuzlocke runs more than once in my future Nuzlocke on stream. Guaranteed. I'm already calling it now.
I see it and I hold it for you, friend.
hmm It's just,
Barry's gonna be the run killer.
it's like I might as well fucking name him fucking Thanos at this point because he's inevitable, dude. Like it's gonna happen.
He's gonna fucking snap your Pokemon away. He's gonna be like, and you're gonna disintegrate.
just just snap half my team away. Like, well, off into the box they go. But no, like I agree, right? So for once, I need to see more trailers. I need to see what else you can do, and don't fill up with dumb shit. I'm like, well, now you can camp with all your Pokemon, and this is how you can cook the berries. Like, I don't give a fuck, you freak. Like, show me good stuff. Show me interesting stuff. I'm not 8 years old anymore. Camping with wild Pokemon and throwing a ball around doesn't doesn't get me to fucking midnight. You know what I mean?
It remains flaccid and floppy.
Yeah, it's like inward right now. You know what I mean? It's like
You're like turtle heading.
retreated.
Turtle head.
Yeah,
It's like into the shell. It's inside of you.
exactly.
It's like a nega dick.
But basically, so and it's like, man, like I never thought Pokemon could get to that point, right? Because there's always something I won't like. Like in Pokemon Sword Shield, I didn't enjoy the wild area. Just it to me, it's just empty. There's nothing else to do other than catch Pokemon. But it wasn't the main focus of the game, and now it just seems like Pokemon Legends, aka Wild Area, the game. It's like, all right, can we not do this though? You know, and I just hope they don't end up focusing on the wrong things. Like they really showed off that you can like stealth around in the grass and like that you can roll. It's like, okay, but is that your new revolutionary mechanic that you can roll and stealth in a game in 2022? Like is that it, Game Freak? Is that what you're gonna focus on? Please say psych, you know? Please say psych.
Psych.
And then also just little things like when you throw the Pokeball, I hope there's like some auto aim because I don't want to like motion control that shit and then miss 20 balls in a row.
I fucking hate motion controls. Just fucking stop, dude. Stop, dude. Stop. Just dude. Stop.
So, but yeah, TLDR, yell at me in the comments because I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree with my opinion. But let me know or let us know, I should say, what you thought about the Pokemon announcements, specifically about Legends, because that's generating most controversy out of all of them, you know? But if it's half decent, I'll still probably get it because it's stream content, if nothing else. Like people love Pokemon. I love Pokemon. So if it's half decent, I should at least get it for like stream sake, right? Like that's always the kind of the mentality. But I won't be happy about it if nothing changes, you know what I mean? Because it's coming out early 2022 and I don't have faith that they can fix all those issues in a year is my main concern. But then I guess you can get technical and be like, well, when was the trailer shot? From which period in development did they take the gameplay? Maybe, maybe that was 7 months ago. Like who knows? I don't know. I don't work for Game Freak. Please hire me. But until until we get some more trailers later this year, I can't really decide, right? But as it is right now, if it got released today based on that trailer, I would not even give it a second glance.
Damn, that's some fucking tea, dude.
Mm-hmm. This is basically, here's why you're wrong for liking Pokemon. Pokemon is shit, and here's why. Like that was that entire rant. I feel like I've given a lot of hot takes, but this one might get me in some boiling water with some people.
At the same time, you're entitled to your opinion,
Oh,
and if we're not
absolutely.
resonating with the Pokemon content, then you're not resonating with it. But at the same time, it's like I could definitely feel why you would feel that way. And me personally, like I've said earlier, whenever I'm in an open world game and there's literally no direction, I become slightly overwhelmed. There's not even like a quest line where it's like, yeah, you should start heading this way and do this thing before you do this thing. I will just be like overwhelmed and I'll just turn the game off because I'm a child with anxiety.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel that. Like, and in the trailer, like, there's like a hub village. Maybe they'll send you out, but the hub village had no NPCs, and it had two houses that were then copy pasted across the street, and the roof color changed. Like, cool. You could have done it a little bit different, you know.
Wow. Wow. Not even trying there, huh?
Dude, Game Freak gets way too many passes for an IP that, like, I'm pretty sure that Pokemon is the highest grossing IP on the planet.
I wouldn't disagree with you.
So you don't really have an excuse for things like that, I would say. But we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, let us know in the comments how you feel about Pokemon, and then I can tell you that you're wrong in the comments too. You disagree with me. It's fine.
Damn, dude. Okay, not only is this hot take, not only is this hot take a hot take, but also is will open the door for bullying.
I'm just doubling down.
Yeah.
I'm just doubling down on it preemptively.
Just open the door for bullying. It's fine.
But who knows? Like, if if you disagree with me, maybe you'll get to laugh at me once more trailers come out. And I turn out to be entirely wrong and they fix all the things. But I hope they do. I really hope. I want it to be an amazing game, right? Like I said, I love Pokemon. I've been playing since Pokemon Red. I just love it.
I've also been playing since Red, but I also skippered some.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I mean, I guess I skipped Emerald. Not Emerald. Emerald, yeah, technically.
I skipped Emerald.
Because I played Sapphire, so I was like, all right, it didn't really grip me that much, so I don't care about getting Emerald. But in general, I've bought every game plus every expansion. I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get Pokemon Gun to complement Sword and Shield.
Pokemon Gun was a meme, dude. Pokemon Gun was a myth.
Yeah, but the logo looked so cool though. Like you have to admit, like the little gun logo that somebody drew, like looked so good. Like hell yeah, I want Pokemon Gun so bad.
Dude, we were never gonna get a gun. Also, like if you had a sword and a shield and a gun, like come on.
Yeah, so you always pick the superior version. You pick the gun
Yeah.
because that's also the newest Pokemon game. So clearly, it would have been perfect marketing, especially in America. Like hello,
We love our guns.
yeah, exactly.
Holy shit. It's fucking terrible. But also, yeah, I have Pokemon Shield and I played maybe for like 3 hours and then I stopped. And it's because I just don't have free time, dude. Fucking sucks.
Yeah, no, like I did one full playthrough with some post game stuff, and now I'm currently doing a Nuzlocke run that has been failing a couple times because I guess I'm just bad at the game.
Honestly, losing Shanae was really just the dark harbinger of the rest of your runs.
Fuck Shanae.
Dude, it was all downhill from when you lost Shanae.
I mean, that's easy to say. Like, oh, it was all downhill from after you lost your first Pokemon. Like, yeah, that's how that goes, though.
At the same time, though, it like vastly expedited the death of your first run as soon as you lost Shanae.
I don't think so. Because the first run purely ended because I brought my weak team to Marnie because I didn't think she was going to be that strong, and then she was even stronger than that. Like, all right, then I guess I'll just eat shit. But if I brought my main team that I was saving for the gym, she would have been easy.
Same time though, Marnie put on the strap and she pegged you.
She did, but we got revenge in the second run, and then we died in the gym.
In the gym.
To a wild encounter to a fucking centipede. Sizzlypede. Third run is going surprisingly well, though. Knock on wood. I don't know what it's going to be like.
You just fucking jinxed it, bitch.
I knocked on wood. I don't know what's gonna be like next week. I'll keep you updated, I guess. I'll just mention mention it somewhere in the podcast, but I don't think we've lost anyone so far yet. So let's hope that continues. um, Speaking about losing shit, this is a terrible segue. Fuck it, let's go. We're doing it live, like I always do.
Fucking do it live.
Um, to kind of circle back to Valheim a little bit indirectly.
Ooh.
One thing that Valheim does is it has a very incremental skill progression system where when you use something, it levels up. So when you sprint, you level your running skill. When you jump, you level your jumping skill. And when you die, you lose some skill points. That's whatever. But the progress is not really noticeable. Like if you train like your axes, you'll do more damage with axes per level up. But the stats you get from it is very, very minimal. Like between level 1 and 50 is maybe like 10 damage or something. But it takes for fucking ever to get there, right? And I think it's interesting that the more time, or I guess lately, um, that's been done less and less in video games because it's not inherently rewarding, right? Like it feels good later in the same way, like if you've ever played a Soulsborne game, every time you level up, you get like a couple of HP, which you don't really notice. But then when you beat the game and you make a new character, like, holy shit, was my HP bar always this small? Like,
Yeah.
it's such a stark difference, and that feels really good. Like, I love those kinds of game mechanics where it's just like, yes, please, let me grind for 10 hours to get a +1 skill point.
Hmm.
Like, I love the incremental upgrade that I don't notice until many hours later. But it's become less and less popular because a lot of people just don't fucking play video games for more than a couple of hours. Like a lot of people don't. More people than you, because you used to do it, but pretty much the vast majority of people never finish a video game.
Hey, I finish my games now
Yeah, you like I said,
when I start them, except for unless they're open world,
yeah,
and then I don't because I get overwhelmed.
but like I said, like you used to be like that, but a vast majority of players today are still like that. And for anyone like doubting this claim, just go check a couple of random Steam games that you own or you beat that have an achievement list, and go check how many people beat the first boss, which isn't even going to be 100%, oddly enough. No matter which game it is, it's never going to be 100% even there. But then check how many of players got the achievement for being the last boss. It's embarrassingly low.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, it's like even when I was younger and I was playing games and stuff like that, I would get all the way up into the last boss, and then I wouldn't beat the last boss because I didn't want the adventure to end.
Yeah. But like when I say embarrassingly low, I think for something like Dark Souls 1, for example, I'm pretty sure it's less than 30% beat the last boss. Now, to be fair, Dark Souls may be a too hard game for some people. Like, I'm sure a lot of people jumped on the bandwagon, like, oh, you got to play Dark Souls, it's hard. And then it was too hard for them. Or, hey, it'll be funny to let my non gamer friend play a game like Dark Souls, see how it goes. But I think Naughty Dog talked about it in terms of like on the Uncharted series. That
Uncharted's not even that difficult.
no, it's not. But a lot of people didn't finish it, and their main discussion was that they have to kind of front load a lot of their set pieces, and I guess the quote unquote best content to early in the game, so that as many people as possible get to experience it. Right, that's kind of like something that some game designers struggle with. Like, well, do I leave it for later so that the payoff is better, but only a fraction of the player base will see it because most people don't play that long or that far? Or do I just blow my load early so that everybody gets to see it kind of situation, right?
I definitely don't like the blow your load early mentality just because and I understand like why they're doing it. For the fact that they want everybody to fucking as many people as possible fucking see it. And maybe they also hope that, they see it, the cool thing happens, and maybe it grips the player to like, be into sticking with the game in order to beat it. At the same time, I don't really like that because I do like the emotional payoff. Like if there's gonna be like a big fucking cathartic motherfucking thing at the end of the goddamn game. Like I want it to fucking hurt me, Scoob.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And if you put it at the beginning, where I'm completely unemotionally attached to something, I'm just not gonna give them a fuck.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I knew that person for 2 minutes. I don't care if they died.
Although asterisk, the intro sequence of The Last of Us was super fucking sad.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever played Last of Us. Like, I'll say this: when I first played the game, and this is many, many years ago whenever the game launched. I'm pretty sure my mom was visiting me at the time, and I mean the funny addendum is she didn't even realize it was a video game because to her it looked like a movie. It was very realistic.
Wow. Tricked your mom.
And spoiler for Last of Us One,
If you haven't played it at this point,
for the first half hour of the game.
Snape kills Dumbledore.
Yeah, I mean at the end of the intro sequence, your daughter dies, and I looked over. My mom was crying. I felt sad, but my mom was just like crying, like, damn, that she doesn't even speak English and that got her. Like, holy shit, like that's powerful.
Damn. At the same time, though, I think like when someone transitions into being like a parent,
Mm,
like child death just hits them way harder,
yeah.
specifically because I've noticed like a very specific change. Like with my sister, after having a kid, now she'll be watching something and she'll like if like we were watching like Doctor Sleep. And I don't know if you're familiar with that movie, but basically what happens is that they're
Is
essentially
that Doctor Who's cousin?
no, that'd be Doctor Howe. Uh, yeah, Doctor Sleep basically, they're stealing essentially the Dark Crystal, where they're stealing the life essence of children and basically drinking it so then they can live longer, right?
Hmm.
And so they're killing children. And like my sister, who normally really likes horror movies and we watch them all the time together, she's like, I can't watch this. And I'm like, dude, why? And she's like, oh, because like the kids are dying. And like I could see like tears in her eyes. And I was just like, man, like shit hits different when you experience that motherhood, I guess. So better keep it numb and never have
I mean, it's
children.
true, right? I mean, it's definitely very true. Like, all right, so in a similar sense, and I think I need to be a little bit more careful with how I word this so it doesn't get misinterpreted the wrong way.
People.
I love animals. Let me start with that statement. Just unequivocally, I love
Oh
animals.
no, you're gonna have a hot take.
No, no,
Hot
no,
take
no, no, no.
incoming.
Not a hot take, but I don't have any pets. I would love a pet one day, but I don't have any pets right now. So inherently, people who have pets, someone like you care a lot more about animals and pets of other people and your own and in movies
Yes.
than I do.
Correct.
Like
Correct.
an animal dying in a movie does nothing to me
Oh god, I hate it.
because I don't have that kinship with my own pet. I've never really had that, right? So I could definitely see that once you become a parent, that
Shit hits different.
children dying or children getting hurt hits different. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, because I have a pet and stuff like that, if I'm watching a movie, like, there's literally a page dedicated to "Does the dog die?"
I know about that. Yeah.
And you can look up any movie and find out if the dog dies, and it's the greatest asset of my entire life because I will sometimes, if things are getting too intense, like, I will pause if I'm at home, obviously, and I'm at home right now because you fucking should be, goddamn, it's a pandemic. Um, I will pause the movie. I will look up if the dog dies because it's the only thing I care about. I can watch people die and feel nothing. Like I'm just emotionally numb to just death. Usually when it comes to people, but like when it comes to animals, like oh yeah, it hits different totally. So it makes total sense.
Because you can immediately relate like to that situation.
Hmm.
Like you can imagine what you would feel or how you would react if it was your dog, right? So it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and that shit never leaves you, dude. Like the other day, I was looking at pictures of Lance, and I was just like,
Yeah. Like,
"Am I gonna cry?" I didn't because I'm dead inside, but
yeah, no. And I mean, the closest thing for me is like parent death at this point. Like that still hits hard. And before that, I never cares. Like, yeah, cool. I still have mine. What about it? Yeah. But now it's like, oh, I know how that feels. Fuck. Yeah, so it definitely hits different.
yeah,
Yeah.
feels bad, man.
um, So it makes perfect sense, right? But it's just I feel like that is definitely to underail this to get back on track. Like the Last of Us did kind of blow its load,
Yeah.
the emotional load at the very least in that section, super early. But I think uh because it then immediately took the game in a different direction, right? Because that was like like as the outbreak started, and then it turns into a full fledged zombie survival game years later, post time skip. It was completely fine, right?
But also, I feel like that's not necessarily blowing the load, but that's like the hook.
Yeah, in a sense, right? Like, I mean, it's just backstory and to know more about Joel and stuff like that. And in the context, it makes perfect sense. But it's still kind of like they didn't need to make people cry 10 minutes in, right? Like, they could have gone the entire game with like his daughter being alive, let's say, and then dying at the end, in that sense. But they never did that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like I kind of do love the slow reveal. Like I remember like playing like the first time playing like Shadow of Colossus and like watching your character, watching Wonder, like slowly become more and more corrupted was like the slow reveal where it's just like
You are the monster. Yeah, it was really good.
you are the monster. Like I was just like
Yeah, because
ah, so good, dude.
it starts from the first boss,
Mhm.
but it's just so subtle every single time. You don't really notice it until it's kind of too late already, and that was really well done. In the same way with near Automata. Holy shit, that slow burn, that slow reveal, that mind fuck, amazing game. But yeah, like, I'm very glad that the payoff is like the fucking fourth ending. It's like make me feel like shit. Please hurt me more, and they did. Like oof. Like some of these games I've played, TBH. I'm very glad I played it on stream because I would have cried off stream at many points. So already,
Wow.
like I am big baby.
When you gonna cry on camera?
Um,
When you gonna cry on camera, huh?
I don't know. Like donate 10 grand to me and find out.
I don't even have 10 grand in my name, bitch. I could add up all my bank
I
accounts
mean,
and it wouldn't be 10 grand.
not you
Motherfucker.
specifically, but just like some random oiler.
Oil Prince.
Like here you go.
Oil Prince comes into stream.
But please don't, because I guarantee you, me crying is not worth 10 grand. That is, it'll be very underwhelming.
Yeah.
It's a very bad return on investment. You know?
ROI low. Do not do.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, I also just think inherently, because it's on stream, I do try and compose myself a little bit more.
Mhm.
I mean, I know I do. Like as you know, I'm not like ashamed of crying in front of people. I've cried in front of you many times.
No.
But on stream it hits a little bit different.
Mhm.
So I try to keep it in.
I get it. You gotta conceal, don't feel, my dude.
Yeah.
Don't let it show.
Except, I do talk about it on stream at least. So like, don't cry,
Yeah.
you
You're
know.
like, don't cry. Ooh. But I know like earlier we were talking about like incremental slow leveling in video games
Hmm.
and how like you like that. I also like that. That's one of the things that made and I know you're gonna fucking disagree with me, but just let me have my fucking moment. God damn it. But that's one of the reasons why I really love Mass Effect 1 is that you would get a skill point and then you would watch the bar go up and like I love that shit. And that's why like when 2 came around, I understand why they made it the way that they made it. And you still did get some of the incremental, feel of like leveling up because you saw, your page go up, but I don't know. I guess for me it's like that's what I really miss about Mass Effect 1 was the incremental level up and like earning those points versus like 2 where you would go on a mission, they would be like, "Okay, here you go." And then you would go into the character screen and then you would just like put it, you know, there. It just didn't have so much the same feel, I guess. And like that's another thing too is like with like Final Fantasy games, like you get that too. Specifically, when they brought in like the sphere grid and like the augment board and stuff for 12. I don't know, seeing that incremental like payoff and being like, yeah, dude, I almost have a full ass augment board. Like I'm a god kind of thing. Like I'm just gonna buy this because I have the points. Fuck it, kind of thing. And then so I like raw fisticuffs like Vayne at the end of 12. I just had Bosch with his shirt off, just punching the shit out of Vayne. It was great.
I never finished 12. I could never get into it. I tried like 8 times, dude.
Bitch, it's Star Wars. If you're one of those people that are like, I don't like Final Fantasy 12, it's fucking Star Wars.
Yeah, I also don't like Star Wars. So now what?
Okay, well then it makes sense that you don't like it. But basically, for the people out there that are like, I love Star Wars, but then they're like, but Final Fantasy 12 was the worst one. It's like, okay, like you're literally a hypocrite. Like fucking face your demons, bitch, because 12 was just Star Wars.
For me, it was most of the gambit system. I think I just didn't like it.
You could turn it off.
Yeah, but that didn't make it any better. That made it worse.
You could turn it off and just set it so that it would pause whenever you were selecting another character or whatever.
Yeah, but that made it worse. I don't know. Either way, the game just never clicked for me. That's fine. The only thing I would disagree with that whole sentiment of yours
Is Mass Effect?
is I don't think Mass Effect had incremental leveling. I know it had leveling, but it had like 10 skill points per thing.
No, it didn't. It was like one.
Like for me, incremental is like, yeah, but no, I mean like you went from like level 1 to 10, then the skill was max.
Yeah.
For me, incremental is like 100 per category, right? And just like an absurd amount of levels and skills for no reason other than big number go up, me feel good, unga bunga, But other than that, yeah, like I do think leveling system in 1 was a lot better than 2.
Yeah. I liked 1
And
leveling system so much better than 2, but then
yeah,
everybody complained about it, and then they dumbed it down, and they made it more actiony for the people that couldn't handle an RPG, and it made it sold more, but at the same time, it's like 2 was great. 2 was honestly, story-wise, was really fucking good, so I get it. I love Cerberus, and I love, like, the Elusive Man, he was hype.
sure.
We're not gonna talk anymore about fucking Mass Effect because I know you fucking hate it, bitch. I get it.
Yeah, we can invite Crystal back once the re-release comes out, and you two can just go ham for an hour. It's fine.
And you'll just sit there quietly going like, "I hate Mass Effect," at random
Yeah,
times, just interjecting very politely.
exactly. No, but I never like I always loved the sphere grid, and Final Fantasy X is one of my favorites because of it. But I guess I never really considered incremental leveling, even though it absolutely is, and that probably contributes a big factor to as to why.
You like 10.
Um, yeah, because I filled up the entire sphere grid with all characters,
And it feels good.
and I also played like 400 hours of Blitzball because I'm a maniac apparently who loves Blitzball. But
Hot take, I didn't like Blitzball.
all right, we're done here for the week. Let's go.
Good night.
Yeah, no, I loved Blitzball, even though looking back on it, it was a terrible system and it was definitely very abusable and stuff like that. I just played for like 9, 10 hours a day, every day for like an entire summer. I don't know how Teenage Me did it, but whatever he was on, I want that shit nowadays. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, my biggest problem with specifically Final Fantasy X is just like I just didn't like any of the characters except for Aaron and Lulu.
that's fair.
Kamari was okay
Yeah,
because he was just big cat, but he was very quiet. But like
I mean, Kamari just never said anything.
I just literally didn't give a shit about anybody else.
That's fair.
I was like, Yuna's like really fucking basic. Tidus needs to be drowned in an inch of piss. Wako's okay, I guess. Riku's kind of annoying.
Oh, really? Like, I thought Riku was to a certain degree like very Yuffie like.
She is Yuffie like, but at the same time, it's like I like Yuffie more than I like her.
Yeah, but then it's interesting that you find Riku annoying specifically, and not just like you know a worse Yuffie.
It was just more how she would like talk. How every like end of her sentence, there would be somewhat an upward inflection, so she sounded like she was always asking a question.
Maybe she was.
I'm just like, are you an idiot or?
Like maybe she was just perpetually confused during the entire game. Who knows?
I guess so. And then like, like I did like the fact that like, whenever she would speak Elbed, like only the words that you have learned would like change into English and the rest of it was still in Elbed. Like I thought that was really fucking
Yeah,
cool.
I love that.
I thought that was so fucking cool. But
I do, especially when you replayed the game and you had all like, the entire language unlocked and you could like see what they were talking about. I loved that as a kid.
it was so fucking cool.
Agreed.
It was fucking hype. Like, but at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like she always talked with an upward inflection. So I'm always just like, are you fucking confused? Are you asking me what the fuck? I don't know. So Riku's not my favorite. I actually prefer Yuffie over Riku, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that disagree with me. But while you disagreed with me, why don't you go ahead and post that shit down there in the comments and tell me that I'm fucking wrong, and I will reply back and just say suck it.
Here's to hoping that in the 7 remake, Yuffie doesn't have an upward inflection in every sentence. Otherwise, you're gonna lose
I
it.
will start to hate her. No, straight up. If she has an upwards inflection every time she talks, depending on the VA, like, and she sounds like she's always asking a question, I will start to hate Yuffie, and I love Yuffie.
Damn. Local podcast host hates confused people.
It's just like I think it's because it's like such a thing here in California. Is it always to be like, eh, eh, like with an upwards inflection, and so it's just like it just bugs the shit out of me.
I can totally get it, and especially in 10, like we've come a long way since then in terms of voice acting. In terms of like not so much like the quality necessarily, because I don't want to like say that they were bad voice actors back then, but like what they call like voice of a good voice director. It's in general being taken more seriously. Um, the script makes more sense. I think back then you only got your own lines
Yeah, so it's just out
and
of
not anybody
context.
else's, or you had no context for the scene. Like, was it Oblivion? I think it was Oblivion
Yes,
that.
where they recorded just the fucking thing out of
No, no,
context.
no. So the script was literally in alphabetical order. It's like That's the why. Why would you ever think that's a good idea? You know?
At the same time, is that not big Bethesda energy?
It is, but you know what I mean? But we don't do that shit anymore today, luckily.
No.
And voice actors are getting a lot more recognition, hopefully better and better pay. I don't know how that fiasco ended up, so I can't fully say there, but they're being treated as more of an important part and an integral part to game development, you know, and the game experience as a whole. Like, who would have thought audio was important? You know, who would have thought
Who would have thought?
that we couldn't just keep it at the level of fucking Grandia 2's voice acting for the rest of our lives, you know?
Dude, okay. I don't the thing is like Grandia 2 was bad, Grandia 3 was worse.
Oh, was it Trade that was worse? I forgot exactly which.
3 was terrible. Okay, like 2 actually isn't voice acted for the most part. And if they wait, no, it is. It is. It is on cutscenes. But 3 3 was fucking terrible.
Yeah,
3 was intolerable. 3 I
yeah,
couldn't even play because the voice acting was so bad, and I
and
couldn't switch it to Japanese either. So I was just like, "This is an abomination." I scoop.
and now imagine, you know, a game you love like Mass Effect, but voice acted like that.
I couldn't play it.
It's not a good game anymore.
I couldn't play it. I wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
play it. Deadass.
So, you know, I'm glad that audio is being taken more serious and that voice acting is seen as a more, I guess, serious profession might be a more apt way to put it. Like we're still not
It is, yeah. 100% serious
on
profession.
Japan's level where you can literally go to school to become a voice actor. We're still not there yet, right?
Mhm. You can take classes and stuff, but there's not like a school.
Exactly. And we're making great strides. And I think almost all English dubs nowadays just sound good. It like there's still a couple, especially depending if you go like the indie route, stuff like that, where I'm like, okay, like I don't like that. But compared to the old days, and even you know, Final Fantasy X is an old game at this point. That shit old, dude. That's like 20 years old by now or something, or close to.
His fucking laugh. Tidus's fucking laugh haunts my dreams to this very day.
Yeah, and you know, and it's kind of hard. Like it's probably just literally like, all right, now laugh, like exaggerate, and no, probably no voice director to be like, all right, try this kind of laugh or do this inflection or that tone. So it's kind of like that's probably the best you could do considering the circumstances, you know?
Probably, but at the same time, it still haunts my fucking dreams.
Oh, it haunts everybody's dreams. It's a meme for a reason, right? Like
It's a
it's
meme.
so
Yeah.
visceral that you remember it. Like whenever somebody says Final Fantasy X, the first thing I hear in my mind is his laugh, you know? But speaking about time, fucking Final Fantasy and cows and all that, I think it is time for this week to end on a lot of hot takes, I want to say. That's how we do.
I'm totally gonna get flamed for not liking Riku, and you're gonna get fucking flamed for Pokemon.
Do you think people are gonna care about Riku comparison to my Pokemon hot takes? You're good.
I think so, because a lot of people feel like Riku is like their waifu, especially because like when I mean Riku and Yuna got so much fucking love that they made fucking 10 too, which was fucking stupid.
Listen, Sento is my favorite Final Fantasy game. Fuck off.
Are you serious?
I'm super serious. I love the dress fair system. The story sucks. Don't get me wrong. Like I hate the story. The story's shit. I love the dress fair system.
Okay. No, okay, that will I will 100% agree with you. And also, if you pause when Yuna goes into her flower dress, you can see her nipple.
I never tried that, but I guess I wasn't as degen as a
You can
teenager.
see her nip nop, nip nop,
Nip nops. I believe it though.
nip nops.
But yeah, no, I just love the dress fair system, and they need to do that shit again.
It was actually really cool. So I will say
Mhm.
the play
The gameplay was great,
of 10-2 was amazing.
but
The
story,
story,
characters, whatever, don't care. Song was a banger.
I honestly couldn't tell you the story of 10-2. If you asked me, like, hey, summarize 10-2 for me, I'd be like, pretty girl put on dress.
Bunga bunga. No, same.
Unga
Same.
bunga. Good time play. Can't remember rest of story.
Exactly.
100%.
But yeah, so I think in general you'll be fine. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. We can get roasted together in the comments. It's fine. We'll just delete your comment. No, we won't. Just, but yeah, if you like what we do, leave a like or a dislike. Maybe subscribe, hit the little bell to keep up to date with our newest episode. And then, with that said, I'm one of your hosts, Milan, signing off for the week, joined by my lovely co-host, as always,
Kelly.
the one and only.
Fart dab.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.